Thanks for joining Sales with Suli, a mom of three who spent the last 12 summers knocking doors. Welcome to my podcast, where I talk about all things women, the ups and downs of my journey, and what it takes to find success on and off the doors. Enjoy this episode.
Awesome. Thanks, ladies, for joining us tonight. It just feels weird being in a totally different state and being on the road and actually trying to continue shooting and getting more content for those of you guys back at home who aren't on the doors. But just a little background about what we're doing. We're actually here in Dallas for the Knockstar D2D festival that's going on. So any of you guys who are back at home who aren't here actually eating up some of the content and the things that they're sharing out there, you guys are totally missing out. And those of you guys who will be there tomorrow, well, this episode won't come out for another 3 weeks, so never mind. You guys will have missed all the fun parts. But we have a lot of girls here today who we all basically knock for pure energy. And with having a lot of girls being under the same roof, I kind of wanted to get to the nitty-gritty of some of the things that we wanted to do and kind of change. But I kind of want to talk about just a couple of things that maybe right now we're seeing either on our teams, or we're seeing in our car partner groups, or we're just seeing in our company or our industry of like some experiences that you guys have had that has just been like a struggle for you guys. Like, I know there's a few of you guys where this is literally your guys' like first summer. There's some of you guys, I think all of us, we have teams where we do have a lot of girls on the team. And so it is a different dynamic as well. And so I kind of want to get some of your guys' insight on how you guys are like handling that. Like, what are some things that you guys are going through on your guys' team or internally that you guys feel like may be a little bit of a struggle this year?
With just a bunch of girls working together.
Period. Just like any type of struggle that you're having, yeah, whether it is just having a lot of girls on the team or just the simple fact of starting in a new industry and having the dynamic of a lot of women on the team as well.
Well, just the first thing that comes to mind, anything that's hard, is just initially going into door to door is just hard learning your pitch, getting confidence. You're learning so many different things. And then to add to be a girl, I mean, I think personally in some ways it's easier to be a girl at the front door because like they trust you a little bit more, you're a little bit more welcoming versus some guy or some big guy that's like, dude, get off my doorstep, you know? But I don't know, that's my personal experience.
No, and I love that because, like, honestly, before I came into doing solar, I would always ask people, I'm like, if it was so easy, why the heck aren't so many people switching over to freaking solar? And everyone's like comment or response was just like unison in the sense of like the biggest thing on the doors and the reason people aren't getting sales is they just have to trust you. And I feel like, yes, us as women, we definitely have that to our advantage. People are going to talk to us a little bit more. People are definitely going to trust us a little bit more, like while we're on the doors. But what are some struggles that you guys still are seeing on the doors because we are women?
I think, so Alicia commented on this. It's really easy to get people to open up to you. But I think women's biggest struggle is like closing and being assertive with like asking for the sale. And I know in my year at Pest Control, I could get someone to be my friend so easily.
Yeah.
But asking for their credit card, like that's when I started to like sweat almost. Yeah. But I think this year is like really, well, one, we're studying, so it's a lot easier to ask for them for their name and email. But just being the boss lady and having this like backbone to the sale is something that like I've improved. And like I know even just being the trainer, seeing the girls like I know that's going to be their biggest like overcoming is being that boss figure.
Do you feel like as you're training some of these like new reps who are coming in, that the struggles that you had, like whether in pest control or just in closing in general, basically causes you to just like step up and like, hey, I'm training, I'm teaching, I have to be able to do this?
100%.
I love that.
Like, I would rather them learn from my mistakes and like understand like what my process was to help them grow so much quicker.
Yeah, and Amanda's like sits to close ratio is like so many, and her closes. Tell us what your like ratio is.
So this,
I know you would know it.
This week.
As she was like training every single person on the planet, I'm like sending her person after person after person. She's like, Suli, like, can I have a break?
I was like, I need some loving on one-on-one time with Amanda. But no, I love it. I just love helping people. So like the training part's really fun. But we'll say last month, my first month setting, there was 5 sets total, and only one of them didn't close.
Who's the closer?
You and Mikey.
It was Mikey's fault. Definitely.
Yeah, you closed all mine. Mikey, what the heck? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I love it. Thanks for sharing that, Amanda. And honestly, like, thanks for the example that you are, like, on our team and just people around you. Like, I just love the positivity that you, like, bring to the table. It's definitely caused me to, like, you know, reflect on how I'm responding to people, just because I know that sometimes like even my text messages or even like a response just isn't as nice as maybe like Amanda would word it. And so I love being able to like watch you train and also like learning from you, and you don't even like see it or know it, but like I'm definitely learning some of these little things from you. And so I definitely appreciate that.
I'm glad we can learn from each other, because I've definitely learned a lot from you.
Thanks. Awesome. Okay. What have been some of your guys' strengths? Like any of you guys from like the Fort Worth team, like tell us some things that you guys have been doing well, that you guys have been seeing has been going good for you guys. I'll report back to Jared. Nothing is going great.
Honestly, I think that's
Wait, so you got it. So I probably should have like had everyone introduce themselves. It is like almost 11 p.m. and this mom is way past her bedtime. So anyone who's listening to this podcast later, just expect to laugh and be like, holy cow, like what were they thinking at this hour? But like if you guys, when you answer a question, just go ahead and like introduce yourself and tell us like how long you've been with your team.
Oh yeah. So I'm Victoria Vea. I started about a month ago, and my cousin, she recruited me. And
Cece's your cousin?
Moana. Yeah. But honestly, I've never done a door-to-door experience at all. I never served a mission, so I think this is my mission experience that I get to, experience. But it's been great, honestly. I think one of our greatest strengths that we've had lately is like before we go out to area and we split, we always say a prayer in our car group. And it just helps bring the spirit with us and just lines up our all the jitters that we get before we start knocking. But it's been awesome experience so far.
I don't know if the jitters ever go away. Honestly, like 13 summers later, and still before anything I do, before like knocking a door, before staying for an appointment, before like getting out of my car, like it's just go mode. Like the jitters are.
That's good to know.
Yeah, the jitters are always gonna be there. Like yeah, they don't disappear. But what about you guys?
I think one of the strengths that we really do have in our office is just being able to adapt to our boys. Just because, like the boys are like, yeah, we're the boys, so we're setting more than you guys. You guys just pick up our leftovers. But like last week, it was really cool to see that like all of our girls were on the board, and there was like, we were like what, number 2, 3, 4.
That's
And
exciting.
it was really cool to see that we were able to learn from them, but they're also seeing that, hey, the girls are going out there and grinding, like, how are they beating us?
Yeah.
So I think that was like a huge strength to us that we were like, yeah, like just because you guys are boys and you guys have motivations, we're gonna outbeat you guys.
Man, we need to start showing Jared our numbers because the girls stay beating the men on our team like all day. Like, let us go and send Jared some numbers from our spa. And it'll be like, all right, guys, let's start keeping up. But that's awesome. I love being able to like just see and hear like women are just like moving up. But how do you guys feel like your guys' dynamic are with like you guys just on the team? Like, how many girls do you guys have? I think like 6?
Yeah, like
5 or 6.
Yeah. What are some things that do you guys do anything together? Like, what are some struggles that you guys have with just being like 5 or 6 of you guys? Like, this is a lot of times we're always talking about like all the good things that happen. And I'm going to talk about this like personally tomorrow, just a lot of, authenticity in this industry. Like a lot of times when we see social media, like people are always just talking about their successes. People are just like, oh, there's a team of like this, like doing so awesome, but not really understanding the dynamics that it actually takes to find, that success. And people are going to be naive to think that like every team is perfect. And so like, what are some things that you feel like that you guys are struggling with that maybe us, like your sisters, would be able to give you guys like some tips on things that we'd be able to help you guys with?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to like really pinpoint something that like we struggle with because like as our Fort Worth office, like we're all like a pack.
I love it.
But like just like us 6 girls, like it's like a smaller pack within the pack. So like, and I think it's also helpful because we have an experienced like saleswoman, Cece, who's there with us. So
I'm
like
so sad Cece's not here.
I know. She's so awesome in this job, like, and just like as a mentor too. Cause like I think, like all of us girls, we can go to Jared and be like, hey, like how do we do this? Like how do like you go about this? But like I think sometimes it's you have to approach different situations because we're women.
Yeah.
And so like going to Jared is like also like I'm always for going to Jared. That guy is like, that's my.
I love Jared like so much. Yeah.
Well, like going and like having Cece there with us, like it's so helpful for us because then we're able to like talk to someone that's more experienced with like all of us that are like first year like door knockers. So I don't know. Yeah, I think that's something that like we've struggled with, but also like there's still like I don't know, more upsides I guess to it than just really the low dynamic, I guess.
See, and I love that you brought that up, like talking about your group of girls. You guys are like a pack within a pack. And I remember my very first summer, there was 8 of us girls on the team, and definitely not a pact, like for sure, like not the experience that I've like, seen this year from, or even in like the last few years of just other teams having a lot more women on their team. But like, what do you feel like are some things that you guys do to be able to like make your guys' team like, or to make your guys' pack within your pack like tight?
They're all poly and they all got their culture.
It is different, yeah. So like for sure, I feel like there's just a little bit more understanding and respect when it does come, when you are coming from the same culture. That is a fact. But do you feel like I already forget.
Madison?
Yes, Madison, tell us about you and the fact that you've just only been off your mission like
A couple weeks.
Yeah,
I've been on my mission in a couple weeks. This is my first week doing knocking, so.
And tell us some of your struggles and some of the things that you've been seeing that's helped you.
Some of my struggles, I've only been knocking for like 2 days. The first day was like half a day. But I think the first day, everybody always says it's like the mental game. Like you start getting the first feels because I'm shadowing, watching Cece do the doors. I'm like, oh, so easy. Like, it's going to be so easy. And I do my first door and I get a rejection and I'm like, what do I do? So I think the hardest thing was just like the mental game. But it's just pretty fun. Like, well, not fun, but it's like we have our group chat where we just kind of talk to each other throughout the day as we get sets and closes. And I really like that because like other people are struggling sometimes, but also other people are getting successes. So I think that helps me a lot, just like chatting with them throughout the day, just to be like, oh, we're all on the same page right now.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like your guys' team does a good job on like cheering each other on, like with just like you girls and like everyone showing up to be like, hey, you know, like good job and
Yeah. I don't think right now because we're all in a competition.
Yeah.
against each other?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
downline versus downline versus downline versus downline.
I love it.
We're right now, I'm not gonna lie, we're getting killed.
2 weeks ago, we would have been killing it.
All right, let's help you get to the top. What do we got to do?
Our whole team
We just
fell
need to-
down because they all got sick. from our
Yeah.
downline. So half of our team was gone, and we're just like, all right, so I guess we're setting to each other.
It's like so funny, like the different, like these are not things that people outside of door to door like have to deal with. Like, okay, like setting for each other, like one person like out of the game or like grouping against downline. I'm sure other people who aren't in sales and they listen to this, they're like, what? Like sport are they talking about? Like, what the heck are they doing? And I just think about like all the girls who are looking into door-to-door period and have no idea what they're getting into. Like absolutely not. I mean, just like you served a mission. And I remember when most people who know me, I, you know, seem to be like super confident and all those things. And when it was my turn, I had my trainer on the mission and she was just like, hey, and she knew that I was cocky too. And she was just like, I'm like, hey, I'm ready to go. Like, how many are we going to baptize this week? She's like, you haven't even taught a lesson. What are you talking about? Like, like you need to first go knock a door and go talk to someone. And I was like, well, let's go knock a door and talk to someone. And she's like, okay, I'm going to take this door. So she takes that door and she just like made it look so easy. And I was like, we're talking about Jesus, like it's so easy. And she's like, all right, you take the next one. So we go knock on the door and this like big guy comes out and I was like, literally turned around and just like walked off and like just like left. It's definitely like a lot of things in my life has been like so humbling to the sense of like, as you guys were asking me earlier about, you know, just like the mental game and what it takes, I realized that it doesn't matter what personality we have, yellow, red, blue, Leo, Virgo, like if we're not working on our mental game, if we are not prepping before like getting on the doors, we're going to continue to fall like flat on our face. Mm-hmm. If we're not like strengthening each other and like pumping each other up, like how are we going to expect the guys on our team to be able to pump us up? If we're not like, you know, going to show up when one person, I don't know, you guys are like competing against your guys downline. Now I want to like text you guys like, hey, who's winning like this day? Like how many sets do we need to help you get? So you guys can do like some of those things. Like, I just feel like so many times we feel like we need to be in competitions with each other as opposed to just, more so like working together. And so that's kind of where I want to like go and move to. A lot of times we're always addressing our leaders or each other about like, hey, there aren't like women's shirts. I mean, those are things that we can't really control, but we're starting to see little things like that. Or we're bringing up a lot of the problems in our industry. We are definitely like putting it out there. I'm seeing a lot of different like Instagram pages, which I love, of like women who are wanting to mentor, who are wanting to coach, who are wanting to create a space for women to be able to like come together and be able to work with each other and mentor each other. But I feel like a lot of times we still have that dynamic of like, we are still working against each other. Like we are still competing against each other. And what I kind of want to hear from every single one of you guys, we'll start from Alicia. Just kind of, one, introduce who you are, just your background. And I want to start hearing things that we're going to do starting today that is going to add value, you know, to this industry. I want to know what is it that we are going to do personally to add value to our teammates, to our car partners, to our CSOs, to our CFOs. Like I found myself these first like however many years when I was the only girl, all I would do was think about the things that aren't happening, all the things that are going wrong, all the things that aren't happening for women. And that's honestly why I felt like I needed to move away and started, one-on-ones with like different women because it was just like my company didn't want to do it. So I needed to do it myself. And it was just like, yeah, I'm not like this big timer. I'm not doing it like on a big scale, but it's just like one step forward of something that I can do personally to be able to, help create this positive movement. But again, so I kind of want to have you guys introduce your guys' selves and then kind of like give us a promise or let us know like some things that you feel like that you guys can add to the industry and to your guys' teams.
My name's Alicia Harris. My background is a teeny bit of door-to-door in the past, but this has mostly been my first experience the last 2 months, Waco and then McAllen. I would say the hardest time sometimes is we get on ourselves, we get in our own personal space of like what we're going through and challenges. Maybe we just had a really bad day. And I've come to learn sometimes even when you have a bad day, just go turn to somebody else. Maybe you can help somebody else out and think of somebody else's problems, and it gets you out of your own shell and you're not just focused on yourself. And a lot of times that can help you be more positive for the future, for whatever else. But I feel like when we are having those moments, instead of getting frustrated that somebody else is getting a close and this and that, we really need to come together and just like cheer them on. And I think by you raising your vibration and being super positive, it's going to help you in the long run too, but then it helps them and you're supportive and we can come together and unite stronger and help each other out. So
is that what you're going to start doing, is you're going to be like uplifting up your vibration is kind of like what I took away from that?
Yes, I usually try to do that naturally, and sometimes I catch myself in a certain way, but I love that because even like and some people are like, no, you need a room with us because you're just positive and it helps me get out of my zone of being negative. I'm like, hey, let's go. So I'm always trying to get somebody in the right mindset of, hey, let's do this. Like even when Anna first came out, I coached her in that first week because she's like, I just quit my accounting job. I just did this. I'm here knocking doors. I haven't got anything to close all week. And I just try to tell her every single day, I just talked to her a little bit, just focus on one door this day. Nothing else matters because you can't worry about tomorrow, what's happened, because eventually it's going to come. And even if you get 1 or 2 sales, you're still going to make more than what you did at your other job. So just focus on now and let's be positive and it will come. So, yeah.
No, and you really do a good job of that. Like like in our freaking Airbnbs in the morning, Alicia's like, let's go. And I'm like, here we go.
Can we get an example? Can we get an example of it so they know what it's like?
What are you talking about? Let's go! Come on, guys! It's Friday this morning.
With our basketball.
Let's go!
I love it. I'm gonna be looking for. Anyways, thanks, Alicia, for that.
Yeah, like I said, I've been back for my mission, so I have door knocking experience that way, and I did like a month of like over the phone sales. So that's like my experience. That's something that I want to promise to bring is one, like I just really want to be an example to other girls. Like I know I just started, but like I want to eventually be like Cece, where she's kind of like the older sister of the group. Like being an ST on my mission, like I want to get to that point where, I'm that example. I can be a mentor. I can lead people, and also just say that example of like, I want to start and stop. Even if I'm going past that time, like I want to give my all that time and show like my love for people, because it really is like when you believe in the product, you're selling it to them because you really want it. It'll benefit them. So loving the people and just really being an example to all the girls.
I love that. Like it really does make a big difference when you truly love and believe in the product, and that's something a lot of these trainers were talking about. Like this weekend is just like looking at these customers as like your sisters. Like these are people's aunts and uncles. Like these are people's grandpas and grandmas that we're talking to. I feel like Amanda was gonna say something.
Oh no.
Okay, but yeah, thank you. So we are gonna get more you caring and wanting to be more of a big sister to your group. I love that. Thanks.
So what especially with becoming a
People
trainer.
don't know your name.
Oh, I'm Amanda. I sold Pest for about half a year. And then, so this is technically my second summer with door to door. A funny little backstory though, like I didn't even want to do solar.
I know.
When I met Suli, I was supposed to go snowboarding, and I was like, "May you go?" I was like, "I'm doing pest," and then, but long story short, here I am. But I made a commitment to myself, and just for where I see my value is, one, I want to be able to sharpen my sword to the best of my ability to service for other people, and especially women out here. Because if I'm not constantly training and trying to get better, I can't educate someone behind me or that I'm helping. So
I love that.
And I think there's kind of a stigma is like when you have like a secret sauce or you have something that like is working for you, like I feel like people don't want to share it. They tell you like stick to the basics, which is very true in door to door, but like also there's like little tidbits that you learn.
Like one little, yeah,
absolutely. And so like I said, my commitment is just to better myself so I can help others.
I like that. Sharpening your saw, being a big sister, and uplifting your vibration.
Oh, Victoria. I probably already said it, but my background basically, no type of door-to-door knocking experience. When my cousin first introduced it to me, she was telling me telling me about the pay and, we just go knock on people's doors, and I was like, oh, I'm not good talking to people. But I think it's like, always good to try something new, to get out the comfort zone. And I know one thing that a lot of people has told me is that I'm very personable. And so I carry it very naturally, but I think one thing that I can work on is being more confident in, bringing that personable, like sharing that with everybody on the team, but like bringing it more out naturally, if that makes sense.
No.
Oh, okay.
So you're really good at being personable, so you want to teach others how to be personable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
In a confident way.
Yeah, in a confident way.
Yes. Those two are going to be a good mixture. That made more sense.
Thank you.
Okay.
For helping me.
We got you.
Awesome.
I'm May. Did pest last summer for about half summer with Amanda. Background is in coaching, similar to Alicia's. I'd say like something that I can do better to bring to the table is to be more transparent. I think the hardest part with being like a female in door-to-door kind of goes back to your point with going to Jared and Cece, how sometimes like you go to your leaders. I'm used to being in a field, like even a female in a workplace period, your boss is usually a male. And so you're usually trying to navigate, not how to hit their hot buttons. And I think it's really important to be transparent with everyone and just communicate right off the bat. I think that also empowers people to understand like where you stand with them, and you're more able to build more camaraderie and chemistry when you are more transparent. So just being more empowering to others and letting it show through in a positive, transparent way is what I'm going to try to do better.
I love that. Being more empowering in a positive way, and being transparent. I'm going to keep repeating this because I know people are always asking, well, what are some things that we can do? Here we go. Victoria brought up being personable and being confident, well, teaching it to others, but also learning confidence yourself. And then Amanda, sharpening your saw so you can better teach other people. Being able to, good thing, I keep forgetting. What does she want to do? She wants to be a big sister and care more about your customers and raising your vibration.
Hi, my name is Moana.
Love it. Should be playing the Moana song right now.
I'm gonna act out later.
Movie's based off of me.
Of course.
transition.
You were just shorter back then.
I knew it. Nicer skin. It's okay. So something that I want to work on, and to also like bring to like the table / team is, I don't know. I've been like thinking about it the whole way through, and I'm just
It's tricky.
I still don't know what I want. Actually, no. Something that I've been really like struggling with, like the past like 2 to 3 weeks maybe, has been like the mental part of like the job. And so like I think at first like Jared, he gave us he like I was talking to Jared about it, and I was just like, man, I'm like struggling real hard. Like I don't know what to do. Like. Like I'm crying. He was like, it's a game. Like the job, you have to think of it as a game. And so for me, I'm just like, I'm very technical. I'm like, no, 1 + 1 does not equal 300. It equals 2. Like that it doesn't make sense. But he was like, also like, you know, like something that does help is to have like positive affirmations, like as you're like starting your day. So he was like, to have those 5 positive affirmations, go around, tell everyone your positive affirmations, tell them to yourself in the mirror. And because, you know, like once you have that positivity like in yourself, then you're able to like spread that to everyone else. And so my thing is, I guess that I want to be able to do is just to be like, yeah, just be more positive, I guess. I mean, I think I'm more like, I'm a happy person. Let's say like 70% of the time. Let's just push it, like, push that 70 to like 89%. You know, there's always that little piece that's like a little down. But yeah, I guess just improving that positivity in my life so that I can be able to like share that with everyone else.
I love it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Last. Well, I guess not last, but.
Oh, yeah. My name is Betty. I've been with Pierre for 5 months.
Zang.
Lifer.
Girl.
I might go to Freedom. I'm just kidding.
Do they have women's shirts? Do they have women's shorts?
No, I'm just messing. I think one thing that I want to be able to bring to the table, and I think it's like for a lot of the females, is like being able to know that we all have each other's back. Just like what Stewie was saying, like when she first started, like the pack wasn't a pack, it was more of like an individual, like I eat my food, like you stay over there and you try to get your own food.
Yeah, like the girls would like draw a freaking line on their milk bottles. You bet your butt I went and drank it just to prove a point. Like who draws a line to make sure where your milk went?
Are you
like,
serious?
Yes. Yeah. Anyways.
So sad. You guys have like 5 like gallons of.
That was me on my mission.
Random.
Drink their drinks.
I'm like, if I'm gonna go shopping, I expect my food to probably be eaten by someone else. And like, I literally always go look for snacks at night, like around midnight or whatever. Anyways.
Oh, but yeah, just being able to like make it possible, like, because I think it's harder for females to come out because they don't have that comfort. They feel like they're gonna come out and no one's gonna be there to back them up because it is male dominant. But I think just being able to be like, hey, like, just come, we have your back, like financially, whatever you need, we got you until you get,
Until you get to your
capable to get,
I love that. And again, like it's one thing that I really truly do love about the Polynesian culture. We will literally like take our shirts like off our back if it was like the last one to be able to get to them, and people wouldn't even know like why. But naturally, people are going to be drawn to that. Like, yeah, I'm going to go because I know that they have our backs. And that's essentially for me like why I wanted to transition to Pure specifically. Is looking at some of the leaders who want so much to be able to help add value to the industry. Like one thing with Tavita, and just seeing like how tender that he is with like his girls and with his wife, and even with us, like just being able to Like, sincerely, like, how's your day? Like, sincerely, oh my gosh, that's like a nice dress. Like, sincerely, like, we are gonna make sure. I was like, oh my gosh, there's not even any girl shirts. So like, before I even came here, he came and he was sitting with me while I was at another company, and I was talking about all the girl shirts and all the things that we had. I hadn't even been here yet, and literally a week later, he had already custom like ordered, you know, shirts for, started getting it done. And I never said I was coming over here to Pure. He was just like, wow, girl, those are little things that, you know, put a smile on our face or make us feel like people actually like care. And looking at people like Blake, who'll take the time to like personally like text me, or just even people in general, like, how's your day? Like, Blake definitely poked a bear that he probably didn't know he was going to be getting. But I remember the times that he would call me when I was at another company, just to be able to just like tell me how his day was, like congratulate me for how well that I'm doing. And if we as women are doing that with each other, how much more likely are our leaders like that going to continue to do that? Like, how I feel like it's just so much easier for us to like push and pull with each other, that guys are going to continue to look at us and see us as catty, see us as like, holy cow, like they can't even sit at the table with each other, and they're expecting us to change. They're expecting us to do those things. And I've just been like, that has been on my mind for like so much these last few weeks. I'm like, what can I do to start like showing up? And for me, one of the things I know that I just used to just compare a lot. I just used to be judgmental. And one of the things that I want to be able to do and bring to the table, and a way that I feel like that I want to add value into the industry, is being quick to forgive. Like, I know that a lot of times, including like me, I'll be, you know, so upset at something so small, and it's going to carry over to the way that I run the morning meeting. It's going to carry over to the way that I am to my car partner. It's going to carry over to the way that I am in my area, because I'm holding a grudge against something that should have just been communicated properly. So I know for me, like, one thing that I want to be held accountable to, and one thing that I want to be an example of is, you know, we're going to hurt each other's feelings. Guys are going to hurt our feelings. We're going to hurt other people's feelings, but being quick to understand from your point of view, and not so quick for me to be understood.